Hello everyone, my name is Lexi Hewer, and today I will be talking about the sugar glider, Petaurus brevis. And this species is not found in the Nearctic region, but you may have heard about it before. So the order is Diprotodontia, the family is Petauridae, the genus is Petaurus, and the species is Petaurus brevis. So let's get started. So I'm going to begin by talking about the physical description. So the sugar glider is a small marsupial with an average mass of around 110 grams. It has a countershaded body ranging from a bluish-gray dorsal and a pale ventral surface. You can't see it in this photo, but I'll point it out in subsequent images that they have a dark stripe along their back and to their nose, and they have two stripes from their ears to their eyes. They have a gliding membrane for their flight, which I will discuss further in subsequent slides. The females have a well-developed pouch because they are a marsupial, and they have large forward-facing eyes for their arboreal lifestyle and a semi-prehensile tail for their arboreal existence. So now I'm going to discuss how you can differentiate different species of gliders. So in the upper right-hand corner, I have a photo of a sugar glider, and in the bottom right-hand corner, I have a photo of a squirrel glider. And so if you didn't know the distinguishing characteristics of the species, you may confuse them. So I'm going to talk about how the squirrel glider is different than our sugar glider. So the squirrel glider, Petaurus norfolcensis, is larger, around 200 to 260 grams. It has a more pointed nose, it has narrower ears, and a bushier furry tail. It also has a brownish pelage rather than a bluish-gray pelage. So the geographic range of Petaurus brevis, they can be found in New Guinea and certain nearby islands. They can also be found in the Bismarck Archipelago and in northern and eastern Australia. Their habitat. So Petaurus brevis lives mainly in eucalyptus forests. They have to have adequate food supply to survive. They can be found in drier forest areas, which is their main habitat, but they can also live in wetter environments which border the rainforest. Their elevation range can be from sea level to around 3,000 meters, and they can also occupy habitat fragments and narrow corridors. So what do these little critters eat? So Petaurus brevis is omnivorous with a varied diet. They are primarily nocturnal, which means that they hunt at night, and they really enjoy the sweet sap from eucalyptus trees, and they also enjoy pollen, nectar, insects, and small vertebrates, like you can see in this photo. It looks like he's munching on an invertebrate. So now I'm going to talk about reproduction. So Petaurus brevis has a lifespan of around 14 years. They have no definitive breeding season in northern Australia, which can either be from lack of research or they just really don't have a definitive breeding season. However, in southern Australia, young are born between June and November. Sexual maturity is reached at 1 year for females and 2 for males. And gestation is around 16 days, which is relatively short because they are a marsupial. And they produce 1 to 2 young per brood. They weigh less than 1 gram at birth, and they leave the pouch after 70 days, and they will leave the nest at around 111 days. And it's an interesting fact that females will not become pregnant while they're raising their current young. And this photo you can see is a nest box made from kind citizens in Australia due to habitat fragmentation. So the behavior of Petaurus brevis. They do not migrate and they do not hibernate, but they do go into torpor, which is a state of reduced metabolic activity when there is food scarcity and cold weather. And this can happen daily to preserve energy, even anywhere from between 2 to 23 hours. So it really depends on the conditions of the environment. And so human interactions, sugar gliders are listed as a least concern on the IUCN Red List. This is primarily due to land use change from forest to agriculture. And you can see in the photo how I talked about in the beginning from the dark stripe on their back, and you can kind of see this in this photo. Additionally, they are not considered a pest and they are not hunted by humans. However, they are allowed as a pet in some states in the United States. So as you can see, this sugar glider is probably a pet being handled by its owner. So a fun fact, the sugar gliders use their patagium wings to glide through the canopy of the forest, so they do not technically fly like birds or bats. They can glide over 50 meters from tree to tree in search of food, and to glide, they simply will jump off a tree and use their patagium to maintain flight. And lastly, I just wanted to end with this photo because it really encapsulates all of the physical and ecological descriptions that I've spoken about, such as the stripes on the face, and they like to eat vertebrates and invertebrates, and so here's one eating an insect. And so if you're interested or wanted to learn more about the sugar glider, I would highly recommend these websites as they have helped me gain research about the sugar glider. So, thank you.